Tonight's top stories: an outbreak across a host of aged care homes thanks to an infected nurse and a super spreader party. Queensland in crisis, new cases, a longer lockdown and frontline fears for hospitals as specialists are forced into quarantine by COVID cluster schools. And a Golden Gateway home, our swimmers begin their triumphant return to Australia with plenty of excess luggage on board. There's been a major operation today at a Sydney nursing home after the deadly Delta strain spread through multiple aged care facilities. There are two factors in this latest escalation of the outbreak emergency: a nurse working at several different homes despite promises that this practice would end, and a Christmas in July party that could have turned into a super spreader event.
Protected from onlookers, 32 elderly residents are removed from Hardy Aged Care in Summerhill this afternoon. 18 residents and 2 staff have so far been infected as a result of a super spreading event during the home's Christmas in July celebration.
All of the residents in the top floor are being removed. Some of them are COVID positive and some of them are COVID negative.
It's just one of several homes now under observation across Sydney. It's been revealed an infected assistant nurse worked at different centres, including Yallambee Village at Revesby, the Mildred Simons Aged Care Home in Janelli, and a third thus far unnamed facility in Padstow from the 27th to the 29th, a breach of current rules.
We are just working with the Commonwealth to ensure that that procedure, which is again a protection where staff do not move across multiple facilities, is firmly in place.
The crackdown on rule breakers has now seen 300 Defence Force personnel deployed across the city. Their orders thus far packing food hampers, contact tracing and joining police as they do random home visits.
This operation is about making people are staying home, particularly if you've got the virus or you're a close contact.
They won't be carrying weapons. They won't be able to fine you. They're here to help the police to make sure that we can contain this COVID spread.
The 8 local government areas under the strictest controls are still seeing the vast bulk of cases. Alongside compliance, there's now a push to give critical workers more access to the vaccine.
It will be a combination of seeing where the case numbers are in a month's time, as well as the rate of vaccination that determines what August 29 looks like.
Some who need no convincing are the under 40s who are behind a surge in uptake for the AstraZeneca vaccine. In the week before the official advice change for Greater Sydney, there were just 9,046 first doses given to under 40s. In the week after, it had more than tripled to over 28,000 first doses.
That young age group through to our 40-year-olds are the sort of ones that are predominantly transmitting this.
And there has now been new advice issued for children, those aged 12 to 15 with severe asthma and epilepsy, alongside Indigenous children, have been added to Phase 1B, meaning they're now eligible for the Pfizer vaccine. A decision on all children is expected at the end of the month.
Indications are certainly that they were leaning towards that decision, but they did want to see the international advice.
With 2 more Sydney schools today deep cleaned after COVID infections, for many parents, it can't come soon enough. Ursula Hager for 10 News First.
Increasing cases, a longer lockdown and a real Delta danger. That's the reality now facing Queensland. Another 15 cases have been confirmed overnight, with a number of schools at the centre of the COVID cluster. It's forced authorities to extend the state's hardest ever lockdown until Sunday. And even then, there's no guarantee it will lift.
At drive-through testing sites, Queenslanders turned out in droves.
We didn't expect so many over this side of town, but yeah, it's a huge number, so it's a good thing.
I've been here for an hour and a quarter, so let's hope it doesn't get any hotter.
It was a similar story at clinics across the southeast, residents responding to urgent calls to get checked.
I think Brisbaneites, we're conservative and we're going to be we do the right thing.
Just to stay safe, really. Like, I went out on Friday night and not any hotspots or anything, but just to make sure.
This outbreak, unfortunately, is escalating.
Of the 13 new infections, 7 are students at the Ironside State School, with another 5 close family contacts. 1 more has been connected to the karate school, taking the total cluster to 31.
I really am very, very concerned about these 6 schools.
Also concerning, the crucial missing link is still a mystery, leaving the Chief Health Officer with no choice but to extend lockdown until 4 p.m. this Sunday.
Yes, of course it's concerning. That's why I'm saying we need to lock down really, really hard, the hardest we've ever locked down.
For the second full day, the southeast was under strict stay-at-home orders, but authorities insist we can do better.
If you don't need to leave your house, don't. It is really, really, really important. And I cannot understand why anyone would be in an office today. If you are in an office today, why aren't you at home?
There's too many cars on the road in Brisbane at the moment, too many people out and about.
Caught up in the latest cluster, many frontline health workers forced to isolate because their children are linked to the school outbreaks.
There's about 8,000 or more children being affected by these potential school closures, and that's 8,000 families.
And in another blow to families, Brisbane's beloved Ekka is now a no-show, cancelled for the second consecutive year, less than a week before gates were due to open.
It's $2 to $3 million cost for the RNA alone. The other cost for all those other operators that are on site that have spent their own money getting here and setting up would be significantly more than that.
Another costly casualty thanks to COVID. Claire Barnes for 10 News First.
Any protesters planning anti-lockdown action in Brisbane today faced a heavy police presence in the city. Hundreds of officers were ready for activists, quickly finding anyone planning to march.
For those that think that what they want to do is more important than the broader community, wake up to yourself. Think about that, please.
15 people were arrested, with 3 still behind bars, while 11 move-on directives were made and 21 public infringement notices issued. Our Rockstar swimming team has packed its bags and is heading home tonight after an Olympic Games none of us will ever forget. And today the enormity of what they did finally started to sink in. Natasha Exelby has more from Tokyo.
It would often